Morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's having a great day. This is Scott Buckholz. I am your host today. We also have Keith Jones, our co-host. It is Saturday, November, or excuse me, November. How can I say November?
Is you ready for
Considering to,
November?
I don't know why I would think November, Keith. I mean, I would think I would know it's October 12th, considering tomorrow's a kind of some people think in my family it's a special day since it's my birthday, but I don't know why I would have thought it was November already. Yeah, I know. Just another, hopefully, year in the book tomorrow. But welcome on, everybody. We appreciate you guys jumping on. My name again is Scott Buckholz. We do these property tours every Saturday morning where we get the privilege and honor of going around the country and sharing investor stories from our community. We are a national community of investors. So we love sharing what deals they're doing. We love sharing their story. We love them giving back some insights, some golden nuggets of what they've learned along the journey, what they're doing, whether it's a fix and flip or a buy and hold or short term rental or commercial or land development, whatever it might be. We love sharing these stories and these deals. And so today we have got a super powerful property tour for you guys. I'm so glad you've taken an hour out of your day. It's not going to be a wasted hour. I guarantee you that. But again, it like we always start off these property tours, please type in the chat room what city and state you're from. We love for other people that are on today to see where everybody's logging in from. So if I could have someone start off and type in the chat room for me, that would be wonderful. Um, there we go. We got some folks logging in. Jasmine, welcome on from Baltimore, Maryland. Lexi, Arlington, Texas. Lexi, I'm getting ready to do maybe a deal down your way here soon. Welcome on. Jesse, welcome on. Let's see. Jesse's from, I lost that. The screen's going so fast. That's McAllen, Texas. Two in a row. There's Ash from Denver, Colorado. Hello, Warren, Philadelphia. Welcome on. There's Dee from Washington, D.C. Keith Jones, our co host from Northern Virginia. There you go. Cherie from Las Vegas. Well, Cherie, we're going to be doing, I believe, a property tour um, in a couple weeks out of Las Vegas. So welcome on. Terrence, welcome on from Columbus, South Carolina. Fernando, welcome on from Frederick, Maryland. Hello, Charmaine from South Carolina. Hope you're doing okay down there. Welcome on, Blake. Nevada. Welcome on, Fernley. There's Maya from Southern Delaware. Welcome on. Wesley, hello from Detroit, Michigan. Chicago, Oakland, California. There's Shelly, one of our admin folks. Welcome on, Shelly, Seattle, Washington. There's Yaz. There's the beautiful wife and business partner of the featured investor. Welcome on, Yaz, Fairfax, Virginia. Eric, Baltimore. Well, guys, there's Cincinnati, Ohio. That's my neck of the woods. I live in northern Kentucky, which is just a kind of a just south of the river from Cincinnati. So welcome on there, Alvin. So, guys, it is 10:58. We are going to start right when that bell hits at 11 o'clock. We'll give everybody a minute or two to jump on because we got a super powerful property tour for you guys. Umair has got a ton of really important things to share with you guys today. I think stuff that if you guys really pay attention, take some uh, copious notes, and you're going to get some great golden nuggets from this today. So, welcome on, everybody. If you're just joining us, type in the chat room what city and state you're from. We appreciate that. We love seeing that, guys.
Hey, you know what, Scott? One thing we also just want to remind everybody, this is live. So this is actually a live meeting, it's not pre-recorded. So if you have a question of the feature investor, put it in the chat. So we love for you to stay muted because there's so much information he's trying to get out. But if you put it in the chat, Scott, myself, or even Mayor, we will try to get to your question, answer your question. So we love the chat. Use that, stay muted. Like Scott was saying, make sure you have your notes ready. Take some good notes, but we're going to go through this pretty fast because he has a lot of information. And then if you knew this is your first time here and you're really trying to figure out how do you get started, how do you, just this whole thing about real estate investing, contact the person who invited you to this meeting right now and just says, you know what? Hey, I want to go to the next meeting that talks about how to get started, or just go ahead and just thank them right now because it's going to be so impactful. So again, thank y'all for showing up, Scott. This is awesome that you put this together. And you know what? Before we even really get started, we're going to go say happy birthday to you right now. So if y'all don't mind putting in the chat right now, just put in the chat happy birthday because I love this brother. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this together. I know we're about to get started, but just if you don't mind, just put in the chat happy birthday, October babies. I love you because it's funny because mine's on Monday. So I knew we liked each other. So hey, this way you get
Thank
this
you.
going there, my friend.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. So today's investor, gosh, how do I describe this man? I mean, him and his wife and daughter, they are so important to our, not only to our community, but to us personally. And we have become super close with this family. And he's been such an inspiration to not only to me, to so many of us in the community. And just his pay it forward mindset. And I don't know. I love. I'm not going to take a lot away from his story and things. He's got so much to discuss, but I truly love this man. I truly love this brother. And so let's bring out Umair. Umair, do you have a second to come on out?
All right. Good morning, everybody. Scott, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
I'm so grateful to be able to have you as a friend in this community, and it's nice to be here.
Yeah. So why don't you kick off? I mean, you got so much information. You know, there's some people on today that are guests that'll maybe their first time on today. They're kind of checking our community out, seeing what this whole real estate investing is and what this community is all about. Go ahead and share your story. And I know you got a lot of powerful things to share. So go ahead.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, good morning. Like Scott said, my name is Umair. I've been a part of this community for some time now. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we're going to go into a mobile home park deal, right? I never would have thought in a million years that I am from Virginia near Washington, D.C., that'd be in the middle of the country buying a mobile home park, right? It's just like, so let me get my PowerPoint up because I've got, like Scott said, a lot of content in a little bit of time. The chat boxes are going to stay open, but what I like to call this is replace your paycheck plan. Okay, guys, you'll hear a little bit about my story. Let me just go through that now. My name's Umair, born and raised in Virginia, and I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. I was in my mid-20s, and after going through different programs and after, really not being a good student, I struggled through school because I'm ADHD. The people who know me close know I'm like a squirrel. I'm all over the place. And I felt like I was incapable of really becoming something. And then I did a lot of sports. I wrestled in high school, did mixed martial arts, and I was actually competing as a professional mixed martial artist. I was a personal trainer, and I was just trying to find what I was going to do because I knew my body couldn't keep up with sports. And so along the journey, I found my wife Yas, which you'll see here below, and we found this group. And after going through lots of different things, I finally found my team. I finally found a group that wasn't just going to give me information, that was going to actually be there with me for implementation. And I am beyond grateful. And now I get the opportunity to just share with other people how they can create the same thing for themselves. This is my baby, Sophia, and I love her to pieces. And she is everything to me. I didn't get the opportunity to really see my mom and dad because they work day in and day out. But real estate investing has set us free, and you're going to see a little piece of that today as I go through our deal. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this deal. So this is I bought this deal July of 2022. It is 2 mobile home parks, and it is 1 single family home. And originally, like, I found another mobile home park in an area from one of the community members of our group. He was like, Umair, you might want to look at this deal. because I had been wholesaling and flipping and working as a community builder and just doing whatever I could to make income. But you guys know how it is. Income would come, and then after spending the money, income would go. I didn't have a consistent cash flow. And so I spoke with one of the mentors and instructors of our group, and he says, Umair, follow this plan, replace your paycheck, create an income for life. And I was like scared and nervous. And like, I was like, you know, you want me to invest 8 hours away from where I actually live in the Washington, D.C. area? And he goes, Umair, with technology in the 2020s, like anything is possible. So I used what we call our investor operating system. It's something that this group offered me to find deals, analyze deals, manage deals. So I sent out mailing campaigns into this area that I had already purchased a park. And I called this gentleman right here, and he's of the old school, right? He's so old school, he didn't even smile in this picture. Now, this deal, I mean, he's a great guy. I used something called the Drive system. It's a part of our group to negotiate and close this deal. This deal took a little over a year and a half to actually close because, you know, I'm all the way in Washington, D.C. He didn't trust me. I didn't trust him. We're from different backgrounds. And so I had to use every single negotiation skill that this group taught me to get this deal done. Okay. And I'll go through the numbers and what it's doing for me now. But I used our system to look up values of what would each one of these parcels of land where there's lots for mobile homes to be on, how much is the potential value? And so I started looking at the value. I started building a relationship with the seller. And as we were having these conversations, he opened up to me finally. He says, my wife is sick. She's been in the hospital. And she really wants me to get rid of all of our real estate. I was like, just empathetic, understanding, not pushy. I sat there and just listened to him for like probably 3 or 4 phone calls. And then he decided, you know what? I'm not ready to sell yet. But I stayed consistent, and I even sent him a postcard, just saying, hey, because I knew his wife was having a surgery from the phone conversation. So I sent him a postcard, and like a week after he got that postcard, he called me. He goes, Umair, I've been getting a lot of different offers from people in Georgia and people here and there, but I want to meet you if I'm going to sell this to you. So, I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but this guy wants me to go meet him. So I drive 8 hours to meet him. And that's when, and when I got there, I had the agreement in my bag because I went there with an intention. And so we negotiated the deal, which wasn't really much of a negotiation, right? It's like we understood each other. He knew that he was going to sell to me, and I internally knew that I was going to buy it, right? But it was like the unsaid word. So I looked it up used our system, and then I didn't leave there. I closed immediately. I had everything ready, okay? And so he was a really stubborn kind of person stuck in his ways, and I knew his personality by understanding our Drive system. And if you're not familiar with that, I recommend that you find out about it. I used my attorney and closed, as you can see here. And then I met with him and his attorney, and it was crazy. Like inside of this attorney's office were all these animals, like butchered animals hanging on the walls. Like it was like I felt like I was in the year 1997 or something, right? It was just like a nostalgic thing, but we became friends. And before me buying this property, and I just think this is a beautiful thing, right? Different backgrounds, different cultures, different skin color. But before we closed the deal, me and him, we prayed together. And it was we felt each other. And I was like, man, if 2 regular people can do business like this from different backgrounds, different cultures, and different religions, and we can come together this way, it just made me so grateful to be an American and so grateful to be able to do what I'm doing as an investor now. Okay. So I want to show you guys the parcels, right? So just so you understand this. So the two mobile home parks are back to back. This is parcel A and this is parcel B. And each parcel has different lots. And you're going to see that different lots where mobile homes could be put on. Okay. And then within the purchase, he had a house on the main road right across the street from a school. And he just was like, look, I got to get done with these because he had some pressure from his wife and he just had a lot going on. And he knew that, you know, I wasn't just going to, you know, kind of do his tenants dirty, or I was going to be there because we've been building this relationship. Okay. So these are the pictures of the two parcels here. Now, I don't have any updated pictures from what the park looks like exactly right now, but I have a quick video that I can show you guys. This is like a 2-minute video, and I think this one has audio. Oh, let's see if it plays. It was playing before. I probably should have seen. Hold on, let me try this. Well, I guess the videos don't want to play right now. This picture or this image is actually a video. So let me try this. Stop annotation. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, so we'll just skip the video, but I just went through the whole thing. It was very dilapidated, looked really bad. In the video, when I'm done walking through it, so this is after I closed on the deal, and I'm just looking around. I took some deep breaths and I was like, oh Lord, what did I get myself into? You know, because I'm following the lead of the mentors and they're pushing me and they're like, Umair, don't follow what it looks like, follow the numbers, right? And then over time, I started learning that I want to not follow the masses. And it makes so much more sense now that I've been investing. The more I invest, the more I learn. But I always tend to do opposite of what the masses are doing, right? Like even when it comes to stock market investing or real estate investing, I have learned to do opposite of what everybody else is doing, and it's helped me create a good cash flow. Okay. So this is one park here.
All right, this right here is
look,
Noble Park Street.
the video came on.
It's got a lot of empty lots.
Can you guys hear
there's
this?
an empty lot there.
Yes.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 can fit right there in between this one and that. So that's 8, 9. 2 can fit there, 11. 2 there and 2 there. And then, knowing that 63 Nobles Park right there, she's fixing that. She's gonna try to rent it out for $600 a month. This is Tasha's. But there are 14 meters, right? So not even half, 50% right now. So there's water, 1, 2, wait, there was one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah. Got some work to do out here in the country.
So that's image of one lot, and it's just an empty lot. Out of these, only 5 were producing lot rent, and I'll give you guys the difference between lot rent and actually earning income on the homes, and I'll break the numbers down. And so let me get through this. So this was the other one, and this one has another set of lots. And again, I'm sitting here looking at, like, I'm from Washington, D.C., where one house is $1 million. One house is $800,000. So I'm like, this is interesting. I'm in a whole nother world. So this walkthrough doesn't have any audio, but I'll walk you guys through it. So this is directly after I bought this park, and I'm like, this is a mess. I couldn't believe that individuals are actually living in some of these homes because they looked, you know, not like something I had ever seen. And so as I'm walking through here, the vision of what I want to create was all in my head. I was like, I'm going to do this and this. And so I had an idea of what I wanted to create on the land as I'm walking through here. So this is my first time. I'm knocking on doors. I'm getting to know people, because I forgot to tell you guys this. The guy who sold this to me, he didn't want to tell the people who live at the park that it was being sold. That was one of his stipulations. I don't know what was up with that, but I told him, I said, okay, we're not going to say anything until you've got money in your bank account. He was just very, very, he was scarcity driven. He was afraid. So it took me, again, everything that I know as a businessman, everything that I've learned with this group to get this done. Like this was just completely junked, and yeah, it looks much different now. So as you guys can see, I'm just going through here. Some of these are just junkers, and we had to, like, I got a bunch of different quotes from, you know, because I had quotes all the way from $6,000 to break down a junker home and remove it. But guys, I removed each one of the junker homes for $2,000, a steal, by hiring my own people. There, it's like people are looking for money in these areas, so I was able to do things a lot cheaper. Now, what I liked about this park here is right across the street is a church. This barn right here, I demolished and I built another barn where I house a full-fledged 24/7 security system. From some of the updates, I removed this big tree. So let me take a look at the chat as you guys are just looking at the videos here. So if you have questions, you can ask me before I go through this.
So, Mayor, like one of the questions that came in was, what grade would you classify the park as being?
Oh, this is like a grade D or C. Like it is, I like even apartments or parks, you want to get into the areas that are ugly. Me and Scott were talking about this earlier. As an investor, the uglier, the better. I know it's kind of counterintuitive to what we're used to, but the uglier, the better, because it gives us the opportunity to do forced appreciation, right? And as you fix up the park and you fix up the homes, or you fix up an apartment building, it's actually worth a lot more money. A lot more money. So I wanted to buy it. As long, when you guys see the numbers on this thing, your brain is gonna like go crazy. You're gonna be like, this is just absolutely bonkers, right? Because even me as a novice, not knowing what I don't know, I'd be like, why? I'm not buying this. Like this is ugly. But
So
yeah.
another question, Mayor, is like when you bought the property, did you bought the land and the houses, or do some people own their own mobile homes? Can you kind of share a little bit on that?
Yeah, I'm gonna go right into that on the next screen. That's a great question as well. So let's get to there. So this is what the whole lots of land look like when I had first got them. Even this property right here is just, it was like a junker with a bunch of trash in it. So I was like, okay, got some work to do, got some things to work with. But I love the fact that I can run my businesses from the comfort of my home or travel anywhere across the world and still make things happen. Like I was like, that was so foreign to me for so long. I see some
How
cool.
large are the lots? That was one of the questions. I'm sure they vary in size.
Yeah, I don't have the exact dimensions, but they own the lot and just it from every home, they own I think it's 7 feet out. Is it 7 feet? Yeah. So this lady right here was fixing up this home. And so I was really happy about that. So this is me doing a full circle walk around. All right. So let's move to the next slide. So some of the upgrades that I've done to the park, because remember, I'm not there. I live 8 hours away. So immediately I added 24/7 surveillance cameras, and I couldn't get all of the image of my surveillance cameras. So I can monitor, speak out of the commercial cameras, and I can see what's going on 24/7. The police department was very, very happy that I did this. I established a key drop-off and pickup plan because remember, I'm running this whole business virtually. All right, I'm not there at all. We implemented an online tenant and owner portal. So now what I noticed happening was what I call the Great Migration. People from big cities like San Francisco, Washington, D.C., New York City, those areas are becoming a little bit wild. So what we're noticing is a lot of people wanting to move to more of a country scene because of the lower cost of living and because nowadays people can work from home on their laptops. So I wanted to be able to take advantage of what I call the Great Migration into rural areas. And so all of the people who are coming into my new homes are not from South Carolina. They're from parts of Florida. They're from Georgia. They're from up north in North Carolina, right? They're from West Virginia. I even have some tenants that moved from Utah to South Carolina. It's just crazy. So I started creating online and we have a tenant portal where they can pay. I get paid direct deposit, automatic payment. It's amazing. And now some of the old riffrafters or some of the older people are phasing out, like they're leaving or they're older. And what we're doing is we're taking every lot and creating a cash cow with every single lot. I built a police department partnership. I'm really, as I started doing business down there, I wanted to get to know the magistrate. I wanted to get to know the tax assessor's office because they're very pleased with me because I'm cleaning things up. I'm providing value to these small towns. I'm attracting tax dollars. And so they're like, man, like they didn't like me at first because whether you realize it or accept it or not, there's still a lot of prejudice in the world. So when I come into a small town like this and my name is Umair and I'm brown and I'm from up north, there's a lot of resistance that I faced, as you guys could imagine. But because I understand and I've learned the drive personality system, I feel like that has been a pinnacle in my success in these small towns. Now, if anything goes wrong, the town calls me. If I need help, I'm like, hey, I call the sheriff and he'll do a little drive around, right? And it's just been good for everybody involved, right? And what I loved about these mobile home parks is they're on what we call city sewer and city water. So the infrastructure was already set up. So I saw nothing but, you know, like when we used to watch those cartoons when we were kids and there's like dollar signs in the cartoon figure's eyes, like I was like, holy smokes, this is going to be great. In addition to that, we installed new roads because there was lots of potholes and people couldn't even drive their cars through. So these are some of the upgrades that I've been doing since I bought the park. Remember, it's only been 2 years. Okay, so this is an aerial view of the park that you just saw, right? And there's a total, when I first bought this, all right, there's a total of 14 lots here, total of 14. At the time of the purchase, 10 lots were active, paying $200 a month in what we call lot rent. So they owned their mobile homes, to answer your question, Keith. So 10 of those were already rented and it was producing $2,000 a month. I was like, not bad, not bad. So I knew, because I'm thinking in my head, I knew that if I filled the 4 lots that were empty, and those were right here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, these were 4 junkers right here. If I filled those 4 and I just attracted people who wanted to come bring their mobile homes and put them on my lot, then I can make $2,400 with this area in just lot rent, okay? But then I started thinking deeper. I was like, well, if I bought 4 used mobile homes and I fixed them up, and if I knew that I can rent each mobile home out for $875 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, because I looked up the rents in the area, then I can take my cash flow from this one plot of land and I can add $3,500 to the $2,000 of cash flow that I already had. So I was like, man, this is getting sexier the more I think about it. Because I added the $3,500 of potential cash flow plus the $2,000 of existing lot rent. I was like, man, that's $5,500. So the more I looked into this and the more me and I was working with one of the mentors that we have in this group, the more I looked at the numbers, I started off scared and kind of like, I don't want to do this. And then the more I looked at the numbers and the potential that I could earn, the better it got. Okay. Here's a good question. Are you going up on the lot rent? I haven't gone up on the lot rent yet because I care about some of these people. I want to make sure that they can afford it. I want to provide value to them. I am not one of those guys that are going to go into the area and hurt people if they cannot afford it. Not happening. Okay. I wanted to provide value to the area. And as long as I know I'm still making numbers, there's no reason for me to be greedy. Okay. Okay. So this was one lot that I wanted to show you guys. So I was like, wow, that's great potential. Okay. Now here's the one that we first saw. Okay. When I first bought this, it was 12 lots total. And only 6 of those lots were active, producing $200 a month. So $1,200 a month when I first bought it, okay? But I knew if I just filled all the lots, if I did some Google advertising, if I started putting this on social media and attracting people who had mobile homes and to bring them on these actual lots, I knew that I can double the income that this one lot was producing. Does that make sense? So I was like, okay, cool. With just lot rent, I can go from $1,200 to $2,400. Okay. But then again, like I said on the last slide, because this group has taught me how to raise private capital, how to use other people's money, how to use retirement accounts, how to use 401ks. So even if I didn't use my own money, but if I was to buy used mobile homes and fix them up, I knew that I could rent each home out for $875 a month, and $875 times 6 is $5,250. So $5,250 plus the $1,200 in lot rent that was already coming in, that's another $6,450. So I was like, okay, if I provide value and I do the work, I can buy a paycheck. So then I don't have to ever work a job. And so with this group, I didn't just learn basic real estate investing. I learned lease options. I learned seller financing. I learned subject to purchases. So all of these things were going through my head as I was looking at this park. And so I started thinking even bigger than just renting each mobile home out. I was like, what would be the potential if I sold each one of these homes on seller finance? And so this group taught me about being the bank and how to create mortgage notes and how seller financing actually works. So this is what I did, because I'm still doing my research. I'm still doing my due diligence here. I'm like, if I took each home that I brought in and I sold it on a seller finance note, okay? Now, if you're brand new, some of this might go over your head, all right? I'm going to go through all of the numbers momentarily. I was like, if I took each home and I just sold it for $49,900 and I just made these numbers up, okay? Because if a buyer is willing to buy and a seller is willing to sell, that's a deal, right? So if I sold each one for $49,900 with a small, tiny down payment, I could collect a total of, $389 a month with just these numbers. Numbers can be changed. But if I sold each property and I'm the bank, I don't have to worry about anything. No tenants, no toilets, no termites, right? I could create over time, each one of these homes could make me a total of, $140,000 for each home. And that's when things really started looking good to me. I was like, no freaking way. I control everything and I can make a ton of money in passive income. And in my head, when I'm doing the numbers here, I'm like, well, if there's 12 homes on this lot, and if I could seller finance each home that I bring in, I'm creating over $1.6 million of equities or notes that will pay me over time. Because remember, I want passive income without any of the hard work and effort. When I looked at this, this absolutely blew my mind. And just so you guys know, this year, I've got one of my students, and a lot of you guys that are on might know them, but I don't want to say their name. This is going to be crazy. So this house right here, or one of these homes, I sold for $89,900. I don't own it. I'm making lot rent off of it and management fees. But one of the students in our group came to me and they were like, Umair, I've been so busy. I've been learning the investing. I know you have this park, but if you have any opportunities, please bring them my way. And it just so happened, I was like, dude, I've got a great deal for you. And I helped him get into him and his wife, I helped them get into a cheap mobile home. They're all in for less than 30 grand, I think. Don't quote me on that. And then I helped them collect a down payment of $3,000. And instead of just 49.9, guys, I have proof that we could sell each one of these homes for $89,900. So I actually helped him buy this. Well, he's the bank. So now he has a note for 89.9 in his retirement account. So his retirement account bought this and he's making passive income as the bank. I mean, this is when real estate investing gets sexy, when you really start to understand the numbers. And hopefully I didn't confuse any of you guys, okay? Now I'm going to go into the actual numbers here, but I'm hoping you guys are still with me. Guys, I was like, when I saw the numbers on this thing, and I can't wait to show you how much I bought this for, because you're gonna probably jump out of your seat, right? It's just like, it was like exciting.
Umair, can we hit a couple of these questions here that have popped in?
Okay, go for it.
Well, question on the funding. So what financial institution provided you the funding for seller finance?
So no financial institution, right? So I was able, so my friend bought it with his retirement account for 30 grand. And then he is the bank. So he created the purchase price. He created the interest rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
For the park, I'll show you how I finance the whole park. But that's the beauty of learning how to be the bank. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but I say this all the time now to my team, to my friends. I'm like, those who understand interest earn it, and those who don't give it away. Which side of the game do you want to play? And I was like, I want to play where the investors are playing, right?
So another question came in, Umair, was like, do you have a property manager? We heard that you have a system that you use, but do you have actually like a property manager? I think they be asking if this on site.
No, I have built my own property management company in-house. I hired people. I was like, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to build a team. We're going to control everything. We're going to provide a lot of value to the investors that want to come to the park, to the tenants that want to live in the park. And we're also going to make money by creating a management company. So I started creating the ecosystem that now brings in different streams of income every month. So I want to show you how this one purchase absolutely exploded my monthly income that, me and my wife and baby live off of. So yeah, so wait till you guys see the numbers on this thing.
Umair, so I know you're dropping so many golden nuggets that I got to go to the store and get another bag. But one of the things that you are also talking about is how you built relationship. You weaving it in your conversation, and you talked about how your negotiation skills. Did you know how to do that, or did you learn that? I mean, how did you work on that?
Well, it didn't happen overnight, but I took, for instance, it started with the negotiations class that some of you guys might have taken. So I used the negotiations class and then the drive system to really understand the individual that I'm dealing with. And see the world through their eyes, through their shoes, what's going on in their mindset. And so did it happen overnight? No, I'm still learning and growing and getting better at raising capital. But it's been a process of me working with this group every week, coming to the weekly mastermind groups, building relationships with other investors in our ecosystem. Like if it wasn't for this group, I would have none of these properties because I would be doing what most people do. They try to do everything by themselves and then they end up with nothing. So I was like, how can I use leverage of this group? How could I use the leverage of the mentors? How could I leverage the information I'm learning to create who I knew I could be, which is a businessman and a real estate investor? But it wasn't always like this. No, I had to go through some frustration to see growth, right? Like anything else.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so let's drill down deeper into this, okay? So I saw the potential of making millions when I found this park, when I started looking at the vision that I wanted to create, the value that I wanted to provide, and the numbers. Vision, value, numbers. So these are the totals for both of the mobile home parks, okay? So it's a total of 26 lots. Okay, guys. Now, at the time of purchase, there was a total of 16 active lots at $200 a month. So that's bringing me in $3,200 every single month. So I knew that, okay? Now, I knew that if all I did was advertise and have other people bring their homes into the park, I knew that I can increase my monthly income to $5,200 a month. Okay, so I knew that. So I kept that in my mind. I was like, okay, cool. Now, if I bought mobile homes, used mobile homes, because there was a total of 10 empty lots, right? 26 minus 16 equals 10. So I had a total of 10 empty lots at the time of purchase. And if I can earn $875 per home that I rent out, I knew that 875 times 10 equals $8,750. So the $8,750 plus the 3,200 would be $11,950. Not bad, right? I was like, okay, the income keeps going higher and higher and higher. So that is what I looked at for both of the mobile home parks. Now, that is before me buying it, okay? This is in my due diligence as I'm learning, as I'm asking the seller questions. Now, these are the actual numbers from when I purchased it, okay? All right, so the purchase price was $155,000, right? Like sometimes you can't even buy a single family home for this much all around America, okay, guys? Like this was crazy to me. So I bought this for $155,000 using a small local bank in South Carolina. And they said, Umair, if you want us to, they did a commercial appraisal, a commercial loan. So it's not a regular loan. Anything 5 units and up is considered commercial, right? So $155,000, they wanted 20% down, right? So I was anticipating on giving them $36,000, okay? So I was like, okay, cool. $36,000 for me, based off of all of my numbers and the amount of money and wealth that this park can produce to me, I was like, cool, I'll give you 36, no problem. But the bank did what we call a commercial appraisal, guys. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The commercial appraisal came back at $344,000. So this is what the appraiser believed it was valued at, okay?
Mm.
So what the bank did for me, because again, I started building a relationship with the branch manager and all this stuff. So what the bank did for me is before I even closed on this deal, guys, the bank allowed me to do a cash out refi. So they allowed me to they allowed me to take cash out at closing, right? So at closing, the bank basically, instead of me even having to give them money, the bank paid me to buy this property. I was like, God must love me. God must absolutely love me, because at closing, because the property was worth more than what the purchase price was, the bank dropped $100,000 in my business bank account. Now, technically, that $100,000 is considered debt, but I'm not going to pay back the debt, right? Who's going to pay back the debt? The people who are renting the lots and the homes are going to pay back the debt. So guys, you wouldn't believe it. I used this $100,000 that the bank gave me just because I bought it right. I used this $100,000 to make my next acquisition. So I was like, this is interesting. I was like, if more people understood the power of real estate, they wouldn't think twice. The average American just doesn't understand how this system works. So guys, there's a total loan on the mobile home parks for $255,000, okay, which is the acquisition and what I took out of this purchase, right? So I had a total loan of 255 grand, because usually you can take out 80, sometimes 90% of what the value is of the property, right, guys? And so I knew that the walk-in revenue is $3,200 a month. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I know I'm doing math, so people are like, it might get lost. But if my total payment to the bank was $1,450.08, so this equals principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, all right, PITI. So if my monthly payment to the bank is $1,450 and my walk-in revenue is $3,200, then guys, I was making cash flow, a little over $1,700 of cash flow before doing any work. So I got paid to buy this from the bank, and it was making me passive income out the gate. When me and my mentor, one of the mentors in our group, his name is Bill Omi. Some of you guys will get to know him. When me and him were looking at this, he was like, Umair, if you don't buy this, I'm buying this right away. And I was like, no, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it, right? Because at first I was skittish about it. You know, I'm from up north. This is a country area. I'm like, oh my God, Umair, you're not used to this, right? But I had to get over it. I had to follow the numbers. So since I've bought it, it's been 2 years, and I want to give you guys the current numbers, okay? So right when I bought it, it was producing $1,750 of cash flow. Denmark Mobile Home Park, which is that first parcel of land, it is now producing $3,174.64. The other plot of land, which is right next to it, is producing $3,676.34. So in 2 years, I've been able to over double the revenue that this park is producing from 8 hours away virtually. So I've been super excited about what's transpiring in the parks, okay? Now, if my monthly payment to the bank doesn't change, guys, my monthly payment has stayed the same, but my cash flow has been increasing. If I go to a bank and do an appraisal now, I'm assuming that it'll be worth 600 grand. Just assumption here, right? So my monthly cash flow currently from the 2 parks is a little, it's $5,400. And so this is money that I get to keep. It comes into my business bank account, direct deposit, and I use it, right? It's awesome. Now, I told you guys that that I also got a little house. It was a little ugly house. And because I've understood how to become the bank working with this group, I sold this little ugly house. Now, this is right across the street from a school, right? It's not a sexy house, but I sold this house to a contractor on a rent-to-own program. So this house came with the purchase of the 2 parks. I found a handyman buyer. I collected $3,000 from this handyman, and he was going to fix it up and do the work and all that stuff. He didn't need a bank. He didn't need credit. He didn't need anything. He just needed a handshake and an approval. And I sold this property, and it has a large backyard. I sold this property for $99,900. And I got it for free. Well, it came with the purchase, right? So by understanding the strategies and the techniques and the tactics that good real estate investors know, I'm able to create hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash flow and equity by just having the knowledge, right? Having the knowledge, okay? So in summary, and then I'm going to open it up for questions because I only have 10 minutes. I timed this just right. I've got another training that I'm doing I'm doing an introductory training to our real estate investing ecosystem right after this. It's at noon. And if you were invited here by someone, ask them for the Zoom link and join me as I do an introduction to our ecosystem. I love being able to share this with others because I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for this group. Like, I love this team. So, number one, I did this deal without actually using any of my own money because I bought the property right. I used our investor operating system to find this deal. I sent out the direct mailing campaigns and I structured this deal with none of my own money. I provided value to the area. So the county likes me. My tenants love me. We're really like, they know that I'm a reasonable landlord, right? I don't let them slide with too many things, but I'm not like, I don't lead with the stick. I lead with the carrot, right? Like I'm always providing value to them. I created cash flow and wealth day one just by understanding the techniques and the strategies that this real estate investing group taught me. I didn't have to memorize stuff. They just kind of showed me what to do, and I'll be forever grateful. And then by buying this right, I was able to, that $100,000 that I got, I used that money to then go out and buy more deals. And you know what I love about this, the banking system in America is that when the bank put $100,000 in my business bank account, that $100,000 is technically considered debt. So I didn't have to pay any tax on that $100,000 that the bank gave me from the refi. And so this is how people get rich, right? And I just get so excited sharing this with people because people don't believe that it's possible for them. I know I didn't. So I needed an environment to empower me on a weekly basis and the information necessary to build my own empire. All right, I'm going to open it up for questions.
One of the things, Umair, that we might want to mention to everybody that's on, if you're a guest on today and you're looking at our community or you're looking at getting involved in real estate investing, what Umair is going to do it is a different link. So you need to get back to who invited you. You can send them a text during this next 10 minutes or so and say, hey, I want to jump onto the introduction that starts at noon, and they'll send you a different link. But in that introduction, Umair, you're going to really cover a lot more about the education, how you were able to build your business, build your portfolio using that education, and then talk about our community as well. And is that a good way to wrap that up on that conversation?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you guys want to hang out more about how you can build your wealth, come hang out with me in about, 10 minutes. I'll be going through our group and how this works.
Hey, Umair,
go ahead, Keith.
I'll try to do a rapid fire because I know we're short on time. But someone asked a question like, how did you find the properties? Right.
So I found this park using the investor operating system. If you guys haven't had the opportunity to learn about that, you should, because I'm in Virginia and I found this from the comfort of my own home.
Awesome. Another one is, are you comparable to the other mobile homes parks in the area? Because somebody was curious about that.
That's where they kind of, yeah, I am comparable. I can increase my lot rents, but I just don't want to because I have some older tenants that really just can't afford any more than that. And if I increase the lot rent on one, I would have to do it with everyone. And so I'm phasing some of the people out, and I will be able to double the lot rents in the future. But this is a long-term play for me.
Awesome. And then some people ask about the grounds, like who maintains the ground, who cuts the grass and stuff like that.
Yeah, so each person who rents the mobile homes or the lots, they're responsible for the grass. But there are some common areas that get overgrown, and I take care of that.
Awesome. Then somebody asked about who pays the other expenses like water and sewer and stuff like that.
So yeah, as soon as they start renting, it's city sewer and city water, and they pay for that.
Awesome. I know there's probably some more questions, but I know we're really short on time. First, I want to say thank you, Umair. You dropped a lot of nuggets. I had to get another pen. It's just one of those things so that you sharing so much. And it's like every time we have a question, you answered it, and it's like only thing that's holding us back is ourselves. So, and you talked about something just really quick. You actually talked about how you overcame your fears as you were talking through the process. I don't know if people saw that. You had the exact same concerns and fears that everybody has right now who's watching it, but you overcame yours because of what you just shared. And what you're going to share right after this, right in the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean the difference between there's people who fall into fear, there's the people who are fearful and the people who are courageous, right? And so um you live once, you know, minimize your risk by being educated, but you know, I feel like it's not fair what's happening to everyday Americans, and I see it all across the board. And I really feel like our just in general, we've got to start taking control of our finances and our lives because it's all about living a better quality life. It's not about, you know, everybody's different. So I just encourage people to take action. Take action.
Awesome. Speaking of action, you know, we about to let you go. So just remind everybody, hey, next Saturday we have another property tour. Scott's got another one lined up. Oh, it's going to be really awesome. You don't want to miss that one. So just tell the person, hey, I want to go to the next property tour. Hey, I want to go to this intro that Umair was talking about. I really want to get plugged in. Go ahead and do that now. But Umair, we're going ahead and just about to end right now.
And real quick, before we end real quick, on October 18th, write this date down. One of my favorite mentors in this group, his name is Bill Omi. He taught me how to do all my little house stuff. He's been a huge inspiration in my life. October 18th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., we have a special training. And I encourage every single one of you guys to be there. He's going to go more in depth about some of the things that I talked about.
Oh, some invite. Oh, thank you for sharing. That we wasn't expecting that one. So everybody's here. There's your action. So, Mayor, we just want to turn it over to you. So, Scott, you got something else? If you don't mind, just you want to end it on how you want to just share with people what they should do, what last nuggets, just something that you know that people walk away like, oh, what would that be, Umair?
Do the hard stuff, right? Our bodies, our brains, the life. I mean, everything's the same if you look around. Through frustration comes growth. Okay. So the next time you're afraid of something, but you know it's the right thing to do, whether it's leave a bad relationship or ask someone out that you love, or it's, hey, getting in shape sucks, but through that pain comes growth. Getting involved in real estate is a little bit scary, but if you do the hard stuff up front, it will create health, prosperity, and longevity in our lives. And so we've gotten so used to instant gratification. My only request is say, hey, if you're scared and you know it's right for you, do it anyways.
Awesome.
Umair, yeah,
ahead.
fantastic, Umair. I'm so, yeah, to wrap it up, because I know you do have to get off. Thank you very much, Umair. We appreciate your time. Again, if you're on today and you'd like to log on afterwards at a different link and listen to what Umair has to talk about, he's going to be able to go into a lot more depth than what we covered today in the property tour. That's at a different link. So send a text, call the person who invited you. We'll get you that link. And Umair, thank you very much. Everybody on today, have a great day. God bless everybody. And we'll be back next Saturday with another fantastic property tour.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care, everybody.